Section 3. At Home in the Evening.
Chapter 20. Returning Home. To an apartment. Dan got back to his building. He checked his mailbox and took out his mail. Then he took an elevator up to his floor. He walked down the hall to his apartment. He opened his door and went inside.
Hi, Pam. I'm back.
Hi, Dan.
Taking an elevator. Pressing the up button. Waiting for the elevator. Getting on the elevator. Choosing a floor. Getting off the elevator. To a house. I got back to my house. I walked up the steps to my front door. I unlocked it with my house key, and then opened the door by turning the doorknob. I set my bag down. I hung my coat up in the front closet, and took off my shoes. I picked up my mail. Then I went into the living room and checked for messages on the answering machine.
You have 3 messages.
Then I changed clothes. I took off my work clothes and changed into some casual clothes. Chapter 21. Making Dinner 1. Making a salad. Paul rinsed some lettuce by running water over it, and drained it in a colander. He also rinsed some tomatoes and cucumbers, and sliced them with a knife on a cutting board. He mixed the lettuce and the cucumber in a salad bowl, and laid the tomato slices on top. Then he sprinkled some grated cheese on the salad. He poured some dressing on his salad. Chapter 22. Making Dinner 2. Preparing Vegetables. Kate peeled some carrots and sliced them. She also chopped up some broccoli. She threw the stalk away and rinsed the broccoli. She put some water in a saucepan and put a steamer basket inside. Then she put the vegetables in the basket. She put a lid on the saucepan and lit the burner under it. The water boiled and steamed the vegetables. Chapter 23. Making Dinner 3. Making Spaghetti. Kate diced an onion and fried it with some ground beef in a frying pan. As the beef and onion mixture fried, she stirred it. When the meat was brown, she turned off the burner. She poured the fat off into a can. She heated 2 cans of tomato sauce in a saucepan. She added the mixture of beef and onions and stirred it into the sauce with some spices. When it started to boil, she turned down the heat and let the sauce simmer. In another pan, she boiled some water. She put some spaghetti into the boiling water and boiled it until it was tender. In a colander, she drained the spaghetti. After putting the spaghetti on a plate, she ladled some sauce over it. Chapter 24. Making Dinner 4. Cooking Rice.
Paul measured out 1 cup of rice and poured it into the pot of a rice cooker. To rinse the rice, he put some water in the pot. He poured off the water to get rid of the dirt and husks. Then He measured out 2 cups of clean water and poured them into the pot. He put the pot into the rice cooker and closed the lid on the cooker. He turned it on by pressing the button. The rice boiled in the cooker. When the rice was done, the cooker turned off automatically. Paul spooned some of the cooked rice onto his plate. Yup, done.
Chapter 25. Eating Dinner. Paul and Kate set the table. Everyone sat down at the table. They put their napkins on their laps. Paul helped himself to some salad and passed the serving dish to Kate. "Pass the salad, please." Then they helped themselves to the food. As they ate, they talked. "So, where did you go today?" "Nowhere special." Paul had a second helping of spaghetti. "I'll have a bit more of this." After the main course, they had some dessert.
Ice cream. Looks good.
Chapter 26. Clearing the Table. After everyone was done, Paul and Kate offered to clear the table.
Paul and I will clear up.
"Yeah, the rest of you just sit and relax." They stacked up the dirty dishes and carried them to the kitchen. They took the serving dishes off the table and put the leftovers into containers, which they put into the refrigerator. They scraped the scraps from the plates into the garbage. Then they wiped the table off and threw the scraps and crumbs from the table into the garbage. Chapter 27. Doing Dishes. Paul put the plug into the drain in the sink. Then he filled the sink with water. He put some dish soap into the water. He washed the dirty dishes. He scrubbed some very dirty dishes. Then he rinsed the dishes. He put the wet dishes in the dish rack, where the water dripped off them. Then he pulled the plug from the sink, and the dirty water went down the drain. He dried the dishes with a towel, and then put the dishes away. Chapter 28. Relaxing at Home 1.
Using the Internet. I turned my laptop on. I entered my username and password to log on. To go to the Internet, I clicked on my browser. I typed in the address for a social networking site and went to my friend's page. Then I read some posts. I added a comment. Then, at a video site, I watched a music video.
Parts of a computer system: screen, keyboard, mouse, mousepad, power cord, AC cord, keys, touchpad, clicker buttons, USB port, USB cable.
Chapter 29. Relaxing at Home 2.
Listening to music. I connected my earphones to my phone and put them on. I selected my music application. I looked through my music and touched the name of a playlist. I pressed a button on the side of my phone to adjust the volume. turned it up to make the music louder, and turned it down to make the music softer. I searched for my favorite song, and I tapped the screen to play it. To get back to the main menu, I swiped up on the screen. There were icons for many apps on the main screen. I touched the icon for the calculator app so I could add some numbers. To turn the phone off, I held the on-off button down for 5 seconds.
Chapter 30. Relaxing at Home 3. Reading. Reading a book. Pam opened the book to her bookmark. She turned the pages as she read. When she saw a word she didn't know,
Bogus? What does that mean?
she looked it up in a dictionary. When she finished reading, she closed the book. Reading a magazine. Pam picked up the latest issue of Everyone magazine. She looked at some of the ads. Then she flipped through the magazine until she found an interesting article. She read the article and looked at the pictures. Chapter 31. Relaxing at Home 4. Watching television. Tom picked up the remote for the TV and turned the TV on. A game show was on. Now for $53, what's the name of? Tom didn't want to watch it. That's boring. So he used the remote to change channels. He turned up the volume so he could hear better. During a commercial, he went to the kitchen for a snack. He watched the news, and when it ended, "That's the end of the news," he turned the TV off. Chapter 32. Relaxing at Home 5.
Streaming services.
Jenny turned on her computer.
She went to her favorite streaming service. She browsed through their new releases and picked a show to watch. She went to the living room to finish the show. Then she changed to a different streaming service. She searched for her favorite vlogger. She watched the vlogger's live stream and chatted. She subscribed to the channel to get notifications for more live streams.
Chapter 33. Going to bed. When it got late, Jenny yawned. She said good night to her parents.
Good night, Jen. Good night, Mom, Dad.
She went upstairs to her room and changed into her nightgown. She hung some of her clothes up in the closet and put her dirty clothes in the laundry basket. She brushed her teeth, washed her face, and used the toilet. After turning on her bedside lamp, she turned off the room light. She pulled back the covers and got into bed. She set her alarm clock and put it on her nightstand. She read in bed for a while. Finally, she turned off the lamp, lay down, and fell asleep.